Friends, if you're looking for real old school laughs, you're in for a treat because we've got them right here. Flip City Magazine. Remember Mad Magazine? Then it went woke? Well, don't worry. Flip City has no chance of going woke. That's right. 4 times a year, you'll get an actual printed magazine full of jokes, stories, comics, and more, all about today's pop culture, entertainment, and woke politics. Flip City takes terrible entertainment trends we love to hate with hilarious parodies of Lord of the Rings, Stranger Things, The Walking Dead, Star Trek, Hunters, and more. Trust me when I say there is nothing else like Flip City on the market. So subscribe today. It will be delivered in print, or you can even get it digitally if you're one of those wacky Zoomers. Either way, follow our link and sign up today, and if you put in midnight, you get an extra 10% off. Check out Flip City Magazine today. Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the program. I am Tom Connors. We've got a beachfront view here. Somebody's fishing out there. Hopefully they're catching something. Or they're disposing of a body.
No, that's CC taking his daily dip.
Oh, that's CC way
out there. I see.
Yeah.
That's why it's so hard to hear.
I set
Look
up
how
the
far
camera over here, and then I
Hello,
walked across the water over
CC.
there.
Hello.
I'm fishing. There's a lot of fishermen here.
Yes, welcome to the program, everybody. That's a lovely view of Canada, courtesy of CC.
That's the bit that's not.
So it'd be CCC,
CCC.
courtesy of CC.
A little bit overtaken by the smoke. This is one of the few places in the world that usually doesn't get smoke, but there's still smoke here.
You know,
so that
I would
should tell you
love-
what's going on.
Love to sympathize, but I'm not. So, because
Yeah,
y'all been
it's still
sending that
very
shit
pretty,
down
though,
here
it's,
for
you know.
so long. Hey, Carolyn's in the house. How you doing?
Hey,
Hello, Kara.
Awesome.
Nice to see ya.
ladies.
Yes, indeed. Sucking your guts, guys.
I tried, man.
I know. Kloppy and I are trying so hard. We're
It stay working. Forgive us, Kara.
We're trying hard. No, we had a great show last night over in Toxic Femme. If you haven't checked that out yet, do so, because Andrew of Legal Mindset joined us, as well as, of course, the ladies. We talked about the Disney business, a little Snow White news, some of which we're going to We're going to talk about tonight. But first, let's intro our crew here to the audience, and we have Mexican Iron Man, who should be joining us shortly as well. But first up, we have Clobbering Times. How you doing?
Oh, doing great, buddy. Thanks for having me here. Good to see you with my buddies on the panel, as always, on a nice geeky Tuesday night. And hello, my friends in the chat. Let's clobber tonight, or don't. I mean, it's up to you.
I'll clobber something.
Just
I'll clobber that
clobber on.
that Star Wars Sucker Punch trailer.
Oh,
That's what I'm gonna clobber.
nice. As long as you're doing some clobbering, I approve.
That sounds kind of naughty, Kara. I'm good. Getting some cable management done for my office. I need some cable management done.
Someone's legging some cable.
Cable management.
Wood.
Look out. He's managing his cable.
Yeah. I'm doing it right now.
Wood. Also joining us, of course, is CC, as we introduced already once before, but not handling any hoses. See, she comes back with something better. See, hose. It works in 2 ways.
Well done.
Hose on my hose. I could write for Mike Judge. Anyway, I understand Beavis and Butthead. They're real simple.
You really do. That's the thing. Yes, you do understand Beavis and Butthead.
How many
That's
times have
really
I
good.
like basically written Beavis and Butthead episodes, like when we're just talking about Beavis and Butthead? Like I know we
Oh,
normally
straight
talk about
up.
it before or after the show, but yeah,
Yeah.
I've written whole episodes before. It's like, wouldn't it be funny if Beavis and Butthead did this? And then,
Yeah.
but anyway, welcome, CC. How's it going up there? Besides the smoke, you already kind of said hello, but hello again.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. It's just going well. Like I said, it's smoky, but it's a pretty nice place to be parked, I suppose.
Only
Figure
you
I'll spend a
can
few
prevent
days or a
forest
week
fire.
here and yeah, kick back, relax.
Only you can prevent forest fires, CC.
Well,
That's what the
yeah,
bear
it's,
told me.
Well, Kelowna burned down this week. That was unfortunate news.
Sheesh.
Serious news.
Did you guys ever have Smokey the Bear up there as a spokesman, or is that just an American?
Oh yeah,
thing?
no, that was like every commercial break is like only
Oh,
you
yeah.
can prevent forest fires.
I figured as much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. We also have Nick Weiser here, all 32.
Hello.
And tonight, we're going to be talking some Equalizer. And I think I'm going to join you for a little bit at least.
Hell yeah. It's going to be fun. Denzel Washington the Great. Going to be also talk about that movie tonight, Toxic Tuesday. But until then, we got a fine bevy of topics to talk about. And hello to our exquisite chat and to our great wrenches, D-Bud, Mecha J, of course, Kara as well, deleted scenes. I
Yeah.
see all of you fine human being here. Thank you for your rent service and good to be hanging out with you, Tom, CC, Klobby, and whoever else joins us. Oh, and of course, that 70s rock fan. Let's
Yeah.
roll.
Speaking of, how you doing, Brian? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon and good evening and good golly, Miss Molly.
Good
Welcome,
golly, Miss
Miss
Molly.
So yeah, it's great to be here, Tom. Thank you for having me yet again. Good
Sure
evening, everyone.
have a ball.
Ball.
Good golly, Miss Molly.
I so like to ball.
I like to have them all.
I wonder what
We're
he was
rocking and
singing about.
rolling.
What was he singing about? I wonder.
Sucking on balls. Did you hear him?
Indeed.
I'd like to have them all.
Yes, the master of the euphemism, Little Richard.
Collect them all like Pokemon.
Mm. Anyway,
I
it's
want
been
some
real.
white ones,
I'll
yellow ones,
poke
red
you,
ones
man.
too. Woo! How's my Little Richard? I can't get as high as him though.
No,
I want to hear you higher.
Paul
Can't get
McCartney
no
does the
higher.
best Little Richard. He's the best.
He
Little
does
Richard
do
impersonator.
good Little
Yeah.
Richard. Yeah. Well, isn't that the wait, who? What song was it? Oh, it was a 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. They got him the job in the band because he knew all the words to
Long Tall
that
Sally.
song.
Yeah.
Well, not just that one, but the one I was trying to think of the name of. Yeah, but I wasn't sure if that. But Long Tall Sally was a Little Richard song. So yeah.
Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's he knew all the words to Little Richard and could do the. It's not falsetto, but it's a
Yes.
fairly high pitch.
I can't do falsetto anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Paul is a brilliant one. If you listen to stuff like "Hey Hey My Mind," stuff like that, it's all it does it in his Little Richard voice. He's great. Tutti
I mean, if
Frutti,
you-
that's the one. Tutti
I
Frutti.
mean, come on, Tutti Frutti. If you didn't realize then, motherfucker was fruity.
That's right. What was he
Tutti
singing about?
Frutti.
I
Oh,
wonder-
Rudy. Bamboo.
He could
Straight
teach
people don't
Elton.
come up with shit like
He
that.
taught Elton a few things. Let's put it that way.
Shut up.
I cracked a
I'm Little
B6
Richard.
once, but that's for younger people. That's for people who are 20. Now
Right.
I'm too old to do that anymore.
Richard, why did you call yourself Little Richard? Because Big Dick was already taken. That's what he would have said, probably. And then he goes, shut up. I love
love
Little
it.
Richard. Little Richard was one of the most catty gay men ever.
But just
And I
such a
loved him
great
for it.
rock and roller. though.
We all
I mean,
knew, and we did not care.
True original.
Only a gay black man could have created rock and roll. Shut up.
He had that voice.
Yeah.
He brought the rock into rock and roll.
He-
He put
he
the
made
rock
the-
in
Oh,
rock and roll.
in more than one way, he brought the rock.
He put the rock in rock and roll. Yeah.
Did you ever hear Eddie Murphy's bit about supposedly when he got asked to be in the Little Richard docudrama or whatever?
I didn't know.
This is one of the things he got in trouble for back then. He's like, I ain't gonna do none of that shit. Maybe you should ask Prince. I definitely ain't get my ass fucked over a piano.
Oh,
Can we get like a body double for the ass fucking scene? Like, I'm just sitting there going, good golly, Miss Molly. Woo! Yeah, I can't even remember which one that was on. I think that was one of the older ones. I'm trying to remember. It wasn't Raw, and it wasn't, I'm pretty sure it wasn't Delirious. Maybe it was Delirious. Because he did the whole gay bit in Delirious, and that might have been part of it. It's been a while. I've watched Raw in recent years, but I haven't seen Delirious in a while. But I could still quote most of it. I mean, if I started it, and I could probably get through it. But yeah, like as far as actually quoting it word for word.
But the other good thing about Little Richard was he was a songwriter too, not just a performer. So he wrote a lot of his material, and that's at a time when not many guys in that field did. Like, I mean, Elvis didn't really write his own material; he got songwriting credits. So that's a different thing.
This is how we get wacky on wacky conversations, kids.
But yeah, he wrote. I mean, his first album. I think it was his first album, just called Little Richard. If you think of the tracks, and keep a knocking, hey,
You
keep a knocking, but you can't come in.
Good golly, Miss Molly, the girl can't help it. Lucille, just
he wrote the girl can't help it. That's right. Yeah.
You know, he didn't
sang
write
it too,
but he sang it.
He
sang the
he did.
great
I
cover.
wasn't sure about that one.
No, he didn't write it, but I mean, just great material. Lucille, he co-wrote Lucille, stuff like that.
Lucille.
Just killer material for 1958.
Speaking of killer material, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, go for it, man.
And I hate making you guys feel left out, but there's only one gentleman here who has his own theme song. Boys and girls, hide your wives and hide your daughters.
Hey!
It's the one, the only. Viva Mexican Ironman.
He's coming.
No lady can resist the magic of his kiss, the woo of his tongue.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Mike, the Mexican Ironman, is here.
Can resist
Thank you for being here, Mikey.
of his fist. When he starts, you'll be done. Son. That's right.
That's right.
Here he comes.
Here we go. It's Mikey. How you doing, Mikey?
What's up, boys? What's
We're
up,
glad to
ladies
have
and
you
boys
here.
in the chat? Mods, I'm barely
We need
awake.
you here.
We do?
Yeah.
Why don't we just get to talk about how we just fill in the blank sucks? Blue Beetle.
No, my friend. There's legal issues at Disney.
I heard you talking smack about Snyder earlier.
I'll save that for later.
I heard
I was going to do it, but
Thomas Connors Jr. You know what? Whenever I tell you that, what does that mean?
I'm in trouble for something now.
What is it? Thomas
What
Connors.
you do?
Disney legal issue. Oh, I guess I'm here on time.
This is what we're talking about. This is why you're here, Mikey. Not because of Zack Snyder, not because of Blue Beetle,
Okay.
but
Mikey
because of
thought
the Disney
Hi, all my
legal
friends
issues.
in chat. I'm gonna
Mike,
talk. Hi, all my
Mike-
friends in chat. Hi, everybody. Hey, Lance. Hey, Carlos.
hey, Mikey.
Hi, IUDR. Hey, Brian.
And
Hi,
VR is on the way as well.
It's not true that Mikey thought that it said barely legal issues. When he joined the stream.
Okay, you know
That
I'm
what?
was
saying it's
good.
not true.
Well,
I said it's not true that he said he thought that.
There's been a couple near misses. I mean, the only
Oh.
legal issue I had is I remember I was in Santa Monica when I had my office, and I would frequent the local Hooters, and I
But-
took a girl out, and we went to picked her up, got a car, my driver took us out the whole 9 yards. So we got to the first stop, and she turns out she was like 19. I mean, this is
Hello.
it's like 10 years ago.
Whoa.
It's like, can I have your driver's license and can I take a photo of it first? Just for
I thought
If she's working at Hooters, you're probably safe. I would
I
think.
thought
Well,
Mikey
that's what
meant,
Yeah.
I thought.
I thought Mikey
So
meant he worked at Hooters. You were working at Hooters, not
No,
you.
I was not working at you weirdo. No, I was not working at Hooters.
he
So
would
what happened,
definitely
Mike?
thrive as a grill operator at Hooters.
What?
Well, you actually probably get fired within a few days because
Are you kidding? I almost get fired at Midnight's Edge and Midnight's Edge after
Because they
dark.
were handling the meat.
So what happened? What happened in that story there, Mike?
No, literally, I picked her up. I met her at a Hooters, and I seen her a couple times. Picked her up, and we went out. And then I, we're gonna go out for a night on the town, and then whole 9 yards. So picked up her. I got my car driver. We started drinking in the because my driver always had. I don't have a driver now, but
the drinking may be a problem since she's 19, depending on where you're at.
Well, we were drinking in the limo. Because I had a car driver and he had a limo, a town car. He was my driver in LA.
Yeah, but you ain't her daddy, at least not in the traditional
This was
sense.
like 10, 11 years ago. Like I was alive.
I'm sure the statute of limitations is up, but
anyway, she had just turned 20. She's like,
so
the way we found out. You cannot let me finish. The way we found out, and she had to give the bouncer wouldn't quit on the ID. And so she finally showed it, and he's like, she just turned 20 last month, right? And he looked at me, I looked at him, I looked at her, she looked at me, she went shoulders shrugged, and I slipped him $100 bill, and we were in. So
So in future, just remember, Mikey, the tried and tested slasher movie method of chopping them in half and counting the rings to confirm how old they are.
Wow, tough show, tough crowd.
Oh, that got dark.
Wow. I said slasher movie. I didn't mean do it in real life.
Wow, that got weird quickly.
Well, we don't have any super chats yet, but we do have a new member. It's a maximum effort puppy and Scotty Joe. So we got to give him a maximum effort puppy. Here you go, Scotty Joe. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Aw. And here he goes. He's going to get it. There he goes. He got him. He struts.
Yeah.
All right. As you should strut yourself for becoming a member. We appreciate that. And I want to say hello to all the people in the chat. We got so many regulars filing in here. Hit the like button. Share out the stream. Let everybody know that we're live. We came in a little late, but that's all right. We were kind of waiting for Mikey and such.
Oh.
But, that's okay, because we also got Valiant coming in for backup too. Because it's like an interesting week every week for Disney lately.
Things definitely took a turn in the last 48 hours. I'll tell you that much.
It's getting to the point where I said this earlier on Mr. H's stream. I would not be surprised if next week the headline is Bob Iger arrested. Like, we're getting to that point where things have gotten so bad for Disney that there's nowhere else they can go but there, right? Like, we're literally this close to a front page news story of where Bob Iger's literally being let out of the Magic Kingdom in handcuffs at this point. Like, this is getting each week worse and worse for Disney. Am I wrong, Mike? Or dang it, Bob?
Well, I think we should probably give some context.
We're gonna get there, but yeah, I mean, it's just yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I never could have predicted on my in even my wildest nightmares or dreams that this company has made so many missteps. And I think a lot of it stems from just blatant arrogance of being a California-based company and them having their way so long in Florida for so many years on both sides of the aisles and everything that they just think that they can do whatever they want, whenever they want, however they want, and whatnot. Now, the thing is that with the AP, you bringing up the AP version, this is now on the wire.
Yeah, this is getting out there now.
This is out on the wire, and when people understand what that means is that the news has been re-released in its own press release. It's out on the wire for anyone and everyone to pick up. Now, people are going to slant it as it's a war between Disney and DeSantis, but as Legal Mindset has said for better part of a year or two, this is really a conflict between government and a corporation. This isn't a personality thing. However, DeSantis is at the top of the Florida electoral, hierarchy, and of course, Bob Iger is at the top of the, Disney company hierarchy. So there are personalities involved. Now, of course, Bob himself did nothing, directly wrong, except for the fact that he's a moron and has let this company be run amok. And I find it fascinating that that anything and everything they can blame on Chapek, they still are. They still are. This one hits a little close to home for me because with the news, see, I've done internal auditing, And I'm not sure when you want to get into the article, but basically what happened is a smoking gun of financial mismanagement, malfeasance, and frankly, a violation of financial laws, of criminal statute has occurred, and evidence of Disney's own making has been found. And to the tune of, just for 1 year alone, arguably between $500,000 and $2 million. Now, is that a lot for a multi-billion-dollar company like this? No, but you know what? The infractions don't have to be significant for them to be illegal.
So yeah, basically, what you're saying is this has now become a criminal investigation. So let's rewind just a little bit.
Yeah, rewind. Let's
kind of bring people up
what happened
on what this is really all about. So take us back to give us an overview of what the Reedy Creek District is all about, how it started, and what happened to it, and what it is now, and what is being investigated here. So basically leading into the article, if you would like to, Mike.
All right. Well, I'm probably a good guy to have, because me and Andrew, one of the things that we have in common is that both of us worked on special tax districts. When I got my start in San Jose, in Silicon Valley, and worked for the mayor's budget office, I was assigned to the joint County of Santa Clara and City of San Jose budget group that handled special tax districts. And guess what? We had special tax districts. The special tax districts are special zones, special areas that operate much like the Vatican, like an area. Think of it as an island within the state where you have a special tax zone. And in that tax zone, you have special benefits. You have your own police, you have your own fire. You can kind of set your own, basically you can govern yourself. The way that I would describe it for most people is, imagine you live in a housing complex or development. You've got a homeowners association. There's a security gate, but your home is your castle. And in this case, Disney had this Reedy Creek that was established well over 70 years ago for it to have its own district, its own place where it would build not a castle, but a city of tomorrow. Of course, it never did that, but it did keep the special tax district. And with that, arguably, they have, the people on the math vary. Some say it's been hundreds of millions of dollars of benefits. Others say billion. I think there's a consensus that the tax district provided Disney with truly hundreds of billions of dollars. I argue that if we did the math for 70 years and found out we're actually able to find out all the benefits they got, that this is a $1 trillion a competitive market advantage that Disney has had in the state. You only need to get to 999 billion over 70 years, and I think it's very cool. Anyway, so they had a special district, and then of course Florida signs the parental rights initiative and puts that into effect. And Disney got their fifis bothered by this parental rights initiative, and well, I won't recount the political back and forth, but make a long story short, is that the state of Florida, when Disney when Disney had a meltdown over this, they just said, well, you know what? We're just not going to let you have your special tax district anymore. So they killed it, created a new one called the Central Florida Oversight Tourism Board, and which is another tax district, except this time, unlike the old one, the board of directors and the people that are staffing it are independent, and they are appointed to see to it that the interests of all Floridians that are residents of the state steer this tax district in a direction that's of benevolent benefit to the people of the great state of Florida, and not, say, for example, geared towards the more selfish needs of the House of Mouse. So the Central Florida Tourism Oversight Board comes into existence. More recently, they passed an initiative that said that there can't be any conflict of interest. If there's any conflict of interest found in any contracts that this tax district has, by in between that tax district and any contractor or corporation like Disney, and they find any valuation or any violations, then they can cancel the entire financial arrangement. Now, what's happened? What's happened in the last couple days is that as part of the investigation into the books, records, and history Many documents have been found. I'll highlight one, which is the one highlighted in this article, which is that an invoice was found whereby the Reedy Creek staff people sent an invoice was prepared and presented from the House of Mouse for $500,000, $500,000 worth of tickets to Disney World. Some people would say, well, that's no big deal. That's not a lot of money. Well, it kind of is, because that would be similar to me being, I don't know, me being the mayor, Tom telling me he's going to have a watch party, Tom being my buddy, and I tell Tom to send me an invoice, and me and Tom's company that he and I own are going to split live watch fees on a podcast to the tune of $500,000, but we took it out of the government treasury. That is conflict of interest. That is self-dealing. That is illegal, because you cannot do that, in particular when there's a financial relationship between, already a financial relationship. It's a huge conflict of interest. And it is illegal to do this type of thing according to Florida law.
Well, it's not even just that, Mikey. I mean, anyone who's worked in corporations will know that there's very, very tight rules and strict rules around gifts of any kind between businesses and within businesses even. So,
well, the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service code, I mean, I do business tax returns for a living, as everyone knows by now. And you know what the maximum is per person, per instance, per year for a gift?
It's like, I don't know, $100 or something, or
25,
it's not much.
25.
Yeah, it's not much, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
25. Yep.
So I just want to say real quick, thanks to Clobby for showing up here. Check out Clobber and Time's channel if you haven't had a chance to do so. He had to deal with something real quick, so I just wanted to plug him real quick while we had a second. And I want to thank all you guys for listening. We've got over 550 of you watching. Hit that like button, share out the links, and as Mikey would normally want to do, we're going to grab some of these super chats here. I'm going to save this one, Dash Attack, because this actually gets us to our next topic. But Dearest on this topic says, could this be another explanation for all the drama people thought FTX was causing? Does the special district drama line up at the same time? That's a good question, Mike.
Okay, so as we have said many times, okay, there's no evidence that Disney was involved in FTX. However, I have maintained since that time and to this day that I believe that there was involvement in Disney and FTX. And here's the thing. Some people say, well, it wasn't in the bankruptcy proceedings. Well, hold on here. When you lose money, the way corporations are structured is cash management, also known as treasury, is completely separate from anything else. And the bankruptcy just talks about who owes the company money and who doesn't owe the company money. So if you lost money on speculating on FTX, your name wouldn't come up in a bankruptcy filing. The bankruptcy filing is for vendors and people that are closed. Now, my point of the matter is, to answer this question, Darius, in a roundabout way, is that when you have a company that in the same week, I don't even know if it's been a week, and since Thursday, we've heard about the bigger lawsuit about the movie deals. We've already known that there was the whistleblowing that happened back in 2017, 18, 19, 20. And then the lady who had the wife had the husband who, ended himself and yada, yada, yada. We've got a company here that whether there's evidence that's blatant like an invoice or not, there is constant use of malfeasance. And frankly, what it is that people got a hold of this company, that Iger and his cronies got a hold of this company, and all of the goodwill that we created for this company, whether it was our great-grandparents, our grandparents, our parents, or ourselves with our kids, created a lot of value in Disney and a lot of goodwill. And guess what? People like Iger and the people he appointed have come in, taken that goodwill and everything that was in the good name of Disney, and they've basically been committing malice practices from where I sit. Because that movie lawsuit is a big deal. I mean, think about it. They've done $3.3 billion worth of financing from Fox that rolled into Disney. It's shocking.
Yeah, the Fox deal's a whole nother can of worms.
But I'm just saying, like last week, that was a lawsuit. They definitely sent in auditors, and auditors found crap. 3 deals.
That's what I'm saying. Like, things are like caving in. And I mean, maybe I was being a little hyperbolic about Bob being, brought out and handcuffed. Even if somebody does get some kind of criminal charges, I don't even know if there will be any arrests, quotation made. But we are facing a situation where, like you said, even though Chapek might they might try to make him a scapegoat for some of this. What do you think the odds are that he fucking talks? Because that's what I see happening with him, is if they try to even scapegoat him at all, he'll be like, fuck you guys, I'm going to tell everybody where the bodies are. Right? And I mean, of course, I'm talking metaphorically, but
typically what happens is that they try to isolate when stuff like this happens. They isolate the people that actually were involved, and then they force those people to talk under the threat of being convicted.
Well, Legal Mindset, I thought, made a great point on this earlier today on Valiant Renegades channel. You're saying that the main issue here is that Disney can't help themselves, right? If they just left well enough alone, they would have been left alone. But they just keep pushing and pushing because they feel like they have that moral high ground. And what's happening, right, is that the people who were involved in this, the people who may have given away the tickets, they're not necessarily at the corporate level. There's a lot of people underneath that, the people who were simply on, the board of the district at the time, people who could be pressured to talk because they're going to be facing years and years of jail time.
That's what I was thinking.
They're not your Bob Igers. They're just regular people who are a little further down the chain, and they will talk.
That's what I mean by Chapek or somebody else. You're right, CC, because that's just it. There are people that, like, even Chapek could be like, look, motherfucker, I was basically like an acting president of this company. I had Bob in one end and the other people on the other end telling me what to do. I did nothing, right? So I can see him being among many other people like you're talking about, CC, that could roll over on certain other people or certain events and in things and how they run their things here. Because we also had, the FTC investigation over the $6 billion in discrepancies in the dog whistler there. So I wonder how that's going to factor into some of this. But there's somebody who may know something about that. Speaking of Valiant Renegade, here he is.
Nice. I'm here. Sorry. Got home a little bit later this evening than anticipated. I was out doing some shopping for the new YouTube channel.
Yeah. So
and then my computer decided to get funky. So
lovely. Well, Mike's been breaking this down for us quite well. Because much like Andrew, he's got a background in this. So you've been talking about this. Pro's been talking about this. This is some pretty unprecedented news after bad news after bad news after bad news for Disney, as far as I can tell. Now, I'm not even close to being an expert like you guys are on this. So what's your take on this real quick, Valiant, before we break into some more questions here from the audience?
Well, the bottom line is that Disney, having worked on numerous political campaigns over the years, haven't done some in a while, but I've been around the block. Let's just say that. And one of the things that Disney, I think, made the mistake on was, as I always talk about, is Disney's hubris. And that is to say that they didn't ever anticipate the district, the former Reedy Creek Improvement District, being dissolved in the manner that it was. And people want to debate about, no, it wasn't dissolved. They got it right back. No, it was frickin' dissolved. They wrecked the district at the state level in the legislature. The only thing that was still held together were the geographic boundaries for the taxing purposes, specifically due to the bonds that were involved in that district. Otherwise, everything that we see now from CEFTOD, or the Central Florida Tourism Oversight District, is brand new. We actually have a board that is appointed by Florida taxpayers. Oh, Ron DeSantis put the boards in. No, Florida taxpayers and Florida voters voted overwhelmingly for Ron DeSantis as governor, therefore appointing him as their chief representative in the state. That is how the public sector is designed to work. The problem is, up to this point, that Disney was appointing their own puppets into that board. And the board, especially from a guy who is, grown up, born and raised in New Orleans, we know a thing or two about public corruption. Bro, on a per capita basis, we have public corruption locked down around here. And nobody does public corruption like we do. Okay? That's Louisiana. So we see things like this in Florida. It's very easily recognizable. Disney was levering the RCID, the Reedy Creek Improvement District, for years to do whatever they wanted to do. They put their own people in charge of it. They leveraged the thing to the hilt in terms of power and influence into the Florida state legislature. Of course, Disney was immune from virtually everything else that their competitors had to go through in terms of public scrutiny. Take Universal, take SeaWorld, take Busch Gardens in Tampa, so on and so forth. Nobody else out there could get away with what Disney has done. What the story we're looking at now is, and I can tell you, as I alluded to in the video this morning, with myself, Legal Mindset, and Pro, the three of us are all collectively aware of a certain source that is certainly at a very high-level position in that state and would have access to intimate knowledge and things that you folks have not even seen or heard of yet. And when I spoke to this source last night, as I alluded to in the video this morning, this whole issue of the RCID buying $500,000 worth of Disney passes for RCID employees, all the comps, all the gifts. Think of the movie Casino, when De Niro is out there going, Senator, didn't I comp you? Didn't I comp you 2 nights here at the Tangiers Hotel in a presidential... This is the level of stuff we're talking about here. And Florida state law is very clear about what is... Well, let's just say Florida state law is clear about public officials being gifted things, just as in most other states. Now, Disney, in their hubris, does not observe these folks as publicly elected officials. Let's be honest, because they are basically henchmen for the Walt Disney Company. And Disney never expected this magic carpet to be pulled out from under their feet. They decided to challenge the bull last year with their decision to engage with 1557, the Florida House bill, the quote-unquote don't say gay bill, and that was a bad idea.
So now they're rights.
Now they're finding out, FAFO, frick around and find out, right? So now they're finding out. This goes a lot deeper, and from the source that we have, who is unequivocally in a position to know what else is coming down the pike, I asked last night before we recorded the video that came out today, I got to imagine there's a whole lot more. Like, this is small potatoes. The response to me was, oh, yeah, this is the tip of the iceberg. And I asked, isn't it at this point, wouldn't it be funny that the problems would come down so heavy and so fast? Because, again, this former RCID board are the ones personally in the crosshairs as publicly elected officials, or ostensibly publicly elected officials. We all know they were just puppets of Disney, like I said. They'd be facing some Florida criminal charges for this kind of stuff because they obviously deliberately hid this. And the response back to us was, quote, yeah, they're fucked. So, in other words, wouldn't it be fun at this point, folks? Would it not be fun if the state of Florida, knowing that they had these former RCID board members by the short and curlies, to say, you know what? Based on the amount of evidence that we have here, you guys could be facing some serious jail time. However, we would be willing to offer some degree of immunity if you would decide to turn state's evidence and speak further.
That's what I was implying
Buckle
before
in,
you got
folks.
here.
Get your fucking popcorn. Here
right?
we go.
That's exactly
And that brings us full circle,
happen,
and that's exactly what CC and I were talking about just before you got here, Valiant, and and Mike. I mean, I know you were about to actually kind of give your feeling. You didn't really get to give all your feelings on it just before Valiant got in here. So, again, off that note, how do you feel that this is going to end? Do you think there might be some criminal charges, and who do you think might be on the chopping block here for
Well,
this?
I'm not surprised. I'm learning this live. I heard your video earlier, Valiant, where you said a little bit of that. I'm not shocked or surprised, but I find it fascinating that they're willing to tell you this, because that means that they've got a lot of stuff. Look, I'm just going to say mathematically, to statistically, what I was to lend credence to what Valiant is talking about. I'm going to go back to what I was saying right before you came in here, which is that they did an independent audit was done on 3 out of the 100 and whatever it was 14 movie projects last week. Okay, and then that news broke 3 out of that group. This is just one invoice of one transaction.
It's only 2022, Mike.
Right, this is one invoice out of one file in 2022.
District's been around since 67.
They can go back decades with this, right?
As an auditor,
56 years.
There are stacks and stacks of stuff they have, any one of which is felonious and illegal.
Mm-hmm.
And so the question becomes, is like, what do you want to do with
that? Are they Dave felonious? I'm sorry.
I think what you did there.
Sorry, Mike.
Oh, good for you.
Sorry, I interrupted that.
That was like when I was doing my thing for Mr. H, and you talked about me jumping out of windows after I did my taped review. I heard you, Tom Connors Jr. Love you.
I love you more.
Don't think I didn't catch you with that little crack you made. I heard it. Anyway, no, but the thing is that they've got to have a mountain of stuff. And the thing about Disney is that they just don't know when to shut the F up. They literally don't know when to shut the F up. All of this crap could have been avoided. And this has been my point from the beginning. From a macro situation standpoint, this whole situation could have been avoided had back before, when even Chapek was around. They just went back to the state and said, let's negotiate a new district, and it would have happened at that time. But no, the hill that Disney decides to die on is this Florida family law.
That's
the
hill they decide to die on. And so if that's the hill they want to die on, then I say let them die, let them burn. Let's get to the bottom. I heard Mindset talking the other day. I would die if there's discovery that comes out in court documents. I will live stream for 1 or 2 or 3 days straight and just feed myself full of caffeine if I can get a handle of the real financials, not this bullshit that they put on the Securities and Exchange Commission, because that shit is so buried with crap, it's never real. And any of us that have actually audited company books know how you can legally make things look better than they really are. I want to see the real data. And like the stuff that Valiant's talking about from his source, man, let me get on that. I will ride that all. I will live stream till I die. I'm not even a YouTuber and I'll live stream.
Yeah,
it goes back to the earnings calls as well, right? I remember when Bob Iger conflated Disney with the district in the earnings call. A lot of what I heard online was, well, this is going to cause a lot of problems going back on legal issues for decades in the past.
When he said that, Valiant, I thought literally fell out of his chair, and I thought Valiant was going to have a heart attack, because Valiant's actually licensed in this stuff. I'm a tax guy. When Valiant heard that, because Valiant's licensed in all this stuff, I was just like, oh my God. And I saw his reaction. I was like, oh boy.
That was their Kate Moss moment. Exactly. Like that was the moment when Amber made the mistake of bringing up Kate Moss in the Johnny Depp trial. And it's like,
we're starting to see it now.
Open the doors.
Right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like this is the result.
Yeah, they literally opened the doors to their own doom. And Dash Attack says, indict Bob Iger for corporate malfeasance.
I think we should rename him Bog Ibar.
Bog Iger. Well, we also have Culture Casino joining us. In a blue screen, no less. Look at this.
Oh, hi.
Why are you in front of?
Wow.
Are you filming Lord of the Rings right now, or?
Actually, I just finished recording.
What
happened? In front of a blue screen here.
Lord of the Cock Rings, perhaps.
Have fun, kids. Meme away. You get back on screen right now, sir. That's right.
But I'm curious.
He listened too.
Oh, look. I just finished recording, so I was.
I have a
I'm
question
giving
for
him crap.
Valiant. I've been dying to ask him. Valiant, let me ask
I
you a
love your
question.
culture.
Let's say this stuff let's say it goes to the next. Let's say the tip of the iceberg, and it goes 2 or 3 levels down on that iceberg, right? And there's more instances or greater dollar values involved or whatever. Okay. At some point, and what point does that become an SEC disclosure item?
That's the hat trick, right? Because, and this is the thing, folks, this is what Disney has been trying to trick people with for the last year, is that, well, wait a minute. Now, this is the Reedy Creek Improvement District, right? Disney acted in good faith. They just decided, hey, the Reedy Creek Improvement District, they called us up. We were just sitting around minding our own damn business, having a good old time in the Magic Kingdom, riding that Space Mountain roller coaster, and they just said, hey, can we buy $500,000 worth of tickets? And Disney was like, well, sure. They just came in there and did that. We sent them an invoice. But at the same time, and this is the problem, folks, is that Disney has been out there for the last however the hell many months since they filed their bullshit lawsuit, telling you that their First Amendment rights were violated because because the state of Florida came out and said, you know what? This privilege, not right, folks, not a right, a privilege that you were granted by the Florida legislature. We don't think you should have that privilege anymore because you've been abusing it. And Disney is claiming that their corporate First Amendment rights were violated. Well, as far as anybody knows, the Reedy Creek Improvement District is not a corporate subsidiary of the Walt Disney Company. So, see, this is the problem. Disney is trying to play every single side of the fence, and they undermine themselves and their own argument, again, by their own, what's the word, folks? Hubris. This is the problem. This is the arrogance and frankly, freaking stupidity of the Walt Disney Company. They think they're so big and so bold, and nobody else is going to see anything else but what they say and what their Hollywood acolytes put out there, that they can get away with goddamn near anything. That's the problem right now.
They think they're bigger than the Florida government, right? I mean,
yes. They think Florida owes them. Let's break it down. They think the entire state of Florida and every man, woman, and child in that state, including the government, owes them everything. Yeah. And look, they could certainly make a decent argument. I'm not going to deny it that, hey, look what we've done for Florida in the last 50 years. Disney certainly has been one of the biggest contributors to the state of Florida, there's no doubt. But at what cost? The cost is the abuse of the powers that the Florida voters and the state of Florida, the public trust of Florida has granted them. They have absolutely screwed it over. And the biggest problem that Disney faced over the years is that when competitors moved in and then realized, wait a minute, why can't we get the same deal that Disney got? Do you know how many years Universal Studios has been begging the state of Florida for the quote-unquote Disney deal? A long damn time. You know how we know that? Mm-hmm. Because our friend Andrew Esquire from Legal Mindset represented Universal. He specialized in special tax districts in Florida. He has been around the block. He knows the stories. And people still to this day try to compare things like, well, the Villages still have... No. The Villages is formed under the new set of Florida laws that Disney was not in terms of the special district. The Villages also has real people living there. The Villages has real registered Florida voters, free people that move in and out at will, whereas Reedy Creek did not. There's a huge difference. And people can go, well, they let the Villages do it. No, they don't. Don't listen to the lies and the spin.
Reedy Creek was the equivalent of an old English rotten borough, which had like 2 people living in it, and they always returned an MP to Parliament every year, every election. It was a rotten borough, as they called it.
Is that how Tommy Shelby kept getting elected in Peaky Blinders?
Probably, yes, rotten borough. Yeah, there's 2 people living there, and they both vote.
Yep.
That's
That's Disney. Now, look, people also make the mistake, and I want to make this clear. People keep asking, well, I mean, if Disney's 100% of Reedy Creek, they're basically just stealing from themselves. I got comments on my video this morning on this, like literally that phrase. And I'm like, well, okay. I see what you're saying from a pure 30,000-foot view. The problem is they're not every landowner in Reedy Creek. They are certainly the overwhelming majority of landowners, but there are others inside of that special taxing district that are not Disney that have been getting abused. And let me tell you what, folks, under Florida state law, under, hell, basically any state's law, it only takes one. Actually, it takes zero in most states. It's still a public entity. People act like Reedy Creek, the defenders, the pixie dusters, their defense is always the same thing. Well, Reedy Creek belongs to Disney. No, actually, it frickin' doesn't. It belongs to the state of Florida. Right. And that's
the state of Florida
misnomer.
will win.
Yeah.
They will win.
Yeah, and then Gonzalo Bergali says, technically, Disney did build a castle in the district, Mickey.
Well, my point was,
I think he means Mikey. Sorry, I said
they're
Mikey.
supposed to build a city, and they never built the city.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what Epcot stood for.
They still got the amenities and the what do you call it? The advantages of, but they didn't build the actual fucking city.
No, they got, look, the whole 1967 compact from the Florida State Legislature that formed Reedy Creek was based on the promise of Walt that the experimental city of tomorrow, and I always kind of mess it up, but the experimental city of tomorrow, that was supposed to be built. They were supposed to have real people there. It was actually supposed to look like the Villages. But then, about 4 or 5 months before the Florida legislature actually passed that compact, Walt died. The survivors, of course, promised Florida that Walt's vision would still be carried out. That experimental city of tomorrow was changed subsequent to the passage of that legislation. Disney had already been granted the powers, so they decided, you know what? That Epcot, that experimental city of tomorrow, it's just going to be another theme park. And let's dare the state of Florida to pull this back.
Yeah, Ensign Ricky in the chat made a good suggestion. Universal could make a great attraction for this at Universal Studios in Florida. The Walt Disney trial attraction.
Oh, I tell you what, a lot of YouTubers are going to make a ton of money on just covering this.
You know, I was going to tell, I don't know which case is going to hit first, but if the timing lines up where like I finish off because I'm pretty busy until October, but then November, December, January, and February, things don't heat up again until March of next year. If something happens major where Disney's actually in court and it's in Florida, I'm gonna drive the 2 hours. I'll go. I'll take my laptop.
Midnight's Edge correspondent. Yeah.
Midnight's Edge special correspondent. And if Andrew meets me there, it'll be one hell of a party. Legal.
I was gonna say that is gonna be one hell of a shindig for Andrew. Yeah.
Can you imagine me and Andrew in Florida covering this thing like the Rittenhouse trial? Oh my God!
I think that makes you a YouTuber.
Crazy.
I'll do it.
Well, at least a correspondent YouTuber.
If I'm not in the middle of tax season, I will absolutely go to watch this.
Get you a press pass and shit. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then I think you started this one because you. Oh, go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
Yeah. No, this was just the comment from Forbidden Ruin. Disney took money out of RDIC, used the money to expand Disney instead of using it to build up the district, even laundering the money out into California. Yeah, that's internal deal. I just want to highlight that comment. It was a good one.
Sure.
Accurate.
Well, and considering, I mean, and I know that VR can talk or speak about this forever. I mean, they have the power to issue their own bonds.
Did.
Yep. And that's what I was bringing up too. Yeah.
Yeah. At least, yeah, Disney did. Disney actually had the power. I'm talking about corporate Disney had the power to issue their own municipal bonds effectively in that situation. They no longer do, right?
Nope.
Any municipality, any special district, including, as I keep bringing up, like the Villages, there's a lot of other ones out there, too. There's another 1,800. They can all issue municipal bonds as per their own charters and as per of sections 189 and 190 of the Florida state statutes. But in this case, the Walt Disney Company was running Reedy Creek, and they could issue their own munis. Here's how bad it was, folks, to remind people watching, or maybe some of you don't know, but you know that whole that whole midnight hour appointment deal. If you do your American history, you know what I'm talking about. As Ron DeSantis was signing famously at the Reedy Creek Fire District, he was signing the final bill to dissolve the RCID, and everybody was celebrating it. And he said, "This is the end of the corporate kingdom." In secret, at that same time that week, the RCID was signing an illegal compact with the Walt Disney Company, to where the RCID was entering into an agreement to where they would turn over their public Florida governmental powers to a private corporation. That, folks, that is hubris. I keep going back to that word. That is hubris. That is insanity. And they thought they could get away with it. They really did. And Disney got so desperate in this past week that they solicited a judge to force the compliance with this illegal contract, because there's nothing under Florida state law. There's nothing under any state law in the 50 states that I'm aware of that allows a public taxing district to turn over its publicly granted and privileged powers to a private company. Again, Disney is showing their ass on this because they have nowhere else to go. This is a big problem. Big problem.
Yep.
But if they do think they are more important than and more powerful than the Florida government, which is my take, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if that is what they believe, then they believe that power will overturn what should be common logic. That there's no way that'll ever pass. There's no way that'll ever make sense. But if they are more powerful than the Florida state government, then things will get worked out in the end, and they'll be able to.
Well, to an extent. I mean, the state of Florida is more than willing to probably make this all settle and go away. They want to get on with business, but they're not going to do it by slitting their own throats.
No.
And I will offer you the proof. And the proof is very simple. And this is often overlooked. And I probably haven't talked about this enough. One of the worst nights for the Walt Disney Company in their corporate history as it relates to Walt Disney World is the night a few years ago when Ron DeSantis was overwhelmingly reelected as governor. I think the Walt Disney Company at that moment knew they were fucked.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, that state went so far into red paint that stop signs were jealous.
Yep.
Is the well fucked? So is well fucked a technical financial legal term, or?
Well, you know, I would defer to my brother legal mindset out there, but I think he would concur.
Well, I think if you're in England, it's called proper fucked.
That's
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
No, but it's strange because the level of malfeasance here that's likely, they don't want somebody sniffing around at all. Because consider this, you know, it is very important for municipalities to get multiple bids on contracts to perform any type of work in service of the district or, you know, the municipality. They can't just take, you know, the first or their preferred vendor. They have to solicit and invite all offers. Well, let me invite a conversation, or let me suggest this conversation. Disney didn't do that ever. Oftentimes hiring the Walt Disney Construction Company to do a lot of the work on the infrastructure and other things that certainly could have been bid by others at a cheaper price. There's a lot of things that happened.
Oh, no, well, most of the private contracts that the former RCID entered into were with
Buena Vista Construction.
Oh yeah, they were all Disney entities. It was
exactly.
Like I'm trying to tie it into a New Orleans joke. This is and again, the reason I'm so sensitive to this is growing up in New Orleans. This has been a thing here for decades. This, New Orleans is an absolute political shithole.
Yeah.
The city itself is a shithole. I mean, as Trump famously once called third world countries. Places like Burma would be jealous. I mean, it's a dumpster fire. The political the political problems here, I mean, what's going on in Florida, specifically with Disney, it rises to this level. And that's always the way this has been treated. And Disney is just nervous now that the dam has been broken open.
I think Louisiana is the very last state under parish law, if I'm not mistaken.
Napoleonic Code.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, look, I joke about this, but for those of you who don't know, yes, the rumors, quote-unquote rumors, no, they're actually true. Walt came here first. Walt wanted to build Walt Disney World not far from New Orleans. Walt wanted to build the Disney World Empire in Louisiana, in southeast Louisiana. You know why Walt left? Because the Louisiana politicians back then, in the Huey Long era, kept asking Walt, "So what's in it for me?"
Yeah.
Oh, well, we're going to bring in a bajillion jobs. We're going to bring in a bajillion dollars worth of construction, economics for, economic growth for decades, blah, blah. No. Walt. What's in it for me? And Walt decided, well, you know what? Piss on you. I'm leaving. And he went to Florida. And then the Walt Disney Company started creating a bunch of oddly named shell companies to go around in Central Florida buying up tracts of land. And by the time the state of Florida noticed it, it was too late. And it was like, hey, it's Disney. Oh, shit. And they struck a deal. And that's how Reedy Creek started. So that's the really short version.
Yeah. Well, we had Mr. Buttcrack Media, who's been a member for 15 months. Thank you for that. We appreciate that, my friend.
Buttcrack.
Buttcrack.
Yes.
Keeping things flowing.
And we don't have any more super chats right now, so I don't have any specific questions for Valiant or Mikey about this situation. Do any of you guys have any questions before we move on here?
I've got to finish dinner, so let me know.
Wondering about the pace of things now. I mean, this isn't something I would imagine. If this stuff goes to trial, I mean, there's investigations, cases are prepared. This is going to take some time, isn't it?
Yeah, especially if somebody finds something that's very unpleasant, which they're going to.
Well, look, let's be honest. They've already found it. That's why the IG was brought in.
Right.
And that's why I made the comment I did about...
Didn't Andrew have like a receipt, basically? Like a...
Oh, yeah. No, I had that on the video this morning. We had the actual physical copy of the receipt.
See, of the free passes and shit, yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, this is one of those things to where, okay, these former RCID board members are just average Florida folks, and the state is going to lay on them hard. Hey, we can negotiate some immunity terms, provided that you tell us everything else. And the tell us everything else part is what it's going to be interesting. I mean, when you write this kind of compact with Disney to turn over powers, and it's written by the Walt Disney World Company's top attorney in Florida, and you even have emails that bait it into the public specter, where the attorney was like, here's the compact we need you guys to sign, but look, do this. Change the name of the authoring attorney to Reedy Creek's attorney so the optics look better. I'm not making it up. This is in the public. You can go look this up. It was public news. I mean, that's how bad it is. That's how overzealous and arrogant the Walt Disney Company got with this whole damn thing. So, any case, I do have to run, but I
before you do, Emperor's NM says, which do you think has more nerve? I think he means nerves. The PR or the financial repercussions, or has Disney more nervous? I think maybe.
Oh, definitely at this point, the financial repercussions. Disney is so burned on the PR side, they've got nothing left they can hold on to.
Sorry, I misread it. Yeah.
They know the financial repercussions, because here's the thing, is that if it's purely PR, you can get the right spin teams out there to fix that kind of thing. You know, like the end of RoboCop 2, Tom, when the old man looks at Johnson and goes, Johnson, scramble the best spin team we have. You know, it's like Disney could do that kind of shit. But if there's an actual malfeasance here, the financial repercussions from the stockholders, from the market in general, the public market, that is much, much harder to get over. If the state of Florida comes down on them hard, and we all know that they will, and the costs for Disney World going forward are going to increase precipitously from a regulatory standpoint, because they've been free from that for so many decades, that's going to have the bigger impact. I think Disney is already so beaten down from the PR side. I mean, can it get worse? Sure. But the actual tax and fee implication in Florida, that's really going to put a burn on their operations.
All right. And then you can go ahead and take care of your dinner. Go ahead, Culture.
Oh no, I was going to say, I actually have, if you want to break it down real fast before you go, VR, I actually have the bill sitting right here.
Yep. That's the one we covered this morning.
Yeah.
This is, folks, this is only from 2020 for the fiscal year of 2022 during that year. RCID tickets, RCID merchandise discount usage, RCID food and beverage discount.
Those are
water
rookie
parks.
numbers on the booze Valiant. They really could have bumped those up. That's rookie numbers.
That's what they actually decided to print on paper. That doesn't include
with Mickey Mouse on it.
That doesn't include a lot of the comps.
Yeah.
And everything that is somewhere on the Disney books. And you know what the most damning thing of all? This is the point, and we pulled this up in the article that we did in the video this morning. And y'all, if you haven't watched it, please go watch it. Would have really appreciate it. None of this was reported on the RCID financial statements.
Wow.
I mean, it was in there somewhere, but it was buried. There were
office supplies.
Yeah, exactly. Advertising and promotion, Mike.
Marketing.
Yeah, exactly.
Communications expense.
Cost of goods sold.
You bury the shit in there because, I mean, Disney's wise enough to know, well, we don't want to just drop it in plain sight, but we also know that nobody's going to come in here and inspect this shit.
Fascinated by these. I mean, Disney Yacht Club, that's one discount. I guess that's one person got that.
Yep.
One person, I would imagine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is just a bill for like the discount shit. I mean, you know, the look at the cruise line discount, $6,050. That's a whole cruise.
Yeah, somebody got one cruise. One person.
Thank God, they did not invoice the RCID for all the 18-year-old Snow White and Ariel hookers they sent in their rooms.
Oh boy!
Part of the reason this happens.
Those are under entertainment.
Yeah,
that's cost of goods sold or something.
I got one more thing to throw in the mix.
Poor unfortunate souls.
Where is it?
Insane. In need.
People ask sometimes how this happens. I'll tell you one thing that bothers me. The largest accounting for one of the four largest.
PwC has been there forever.
PwC has been Disney's quote external independent auditor nonstop since 1938. Now, as someone who's been around corporate governance for a long time, typically what happens is you rotate these KPMG, Ernst & Young, Deloitte, Price Waterhouse. You rotate these independent firms in and out every 3 to 6 years because you don't mind a new housekeeper coming in and making sure your house is in order, right?
And it makes everything look clean.
But when you have the same caretaker since 1938, why do you think that might be the case in our industry? In our industry, we know why this happens. Why does that happen? Anybody want to venture a guess?
They don't want the skeletons to get
Everyone
out.
knows where the bodies are buried. Yeah.
Exactly. It's
Y'all
both.
get
The
along.
skeletons are in the closet.
Wait.
They know where they're at. And let me tell you something about PWC and Disney. And this is just one thing that they've done over the years. This is a company where PWC has its independent auditor and accounting internship program based at Disney World, and
about to ask about that
for 2 decades. They've had their internship program based at Disneyland. That means like their client. Imagine this. I'm supposed to be an independent auditor of my client's company, but I sent all my summer interns to that client who's paying me big fat cash.
It's like when they say they're having an internal investigation, right? Exactly.
Right. Except this is the company that signs off on the financials. Now, this alone, when I realized this about 2 years ago,
but it's under the guise of an external one. That's my point.
Exactly. It's exactly.
If I was a conspiracy theorist, I'd be asking how many of those comp tickets in the receipt you showed, Culture, were for people that worked at an auditor's.
There may be connections there. That's the thing, dude. If you're not far off. Like, I mean, well, you don't even have to be a conspiracy theorist. This is where we were saying in the start of this
of doing something.
Well, at this point, you maybe can't accuse an individual of, but that's basically what this is saying. Like RCID. What the hell do you think that fucking stands for?
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Reedy Creek Improvement District tickets. $4,902 and
no, $492,000.
That's
the really corrupt investment by Disney.
You're right. Sorry. Blah.
And who did they all go to? What would be the list of individuals if such a thing exists? Somewhere?
Well, and let me go at it this another way, and this is maybe where Mike knows what I'm saying here because of the tax side of things. Because I'm not completely ignorant, but I'm not real great at tax stuff. But this doesn't even necessarily mean that. I'm wondering if this is like taking us back to the $6 billion in discrepancies in the park. Remember when they were doing what they were doing there? This might be similar to that, where they may have been putting this down on the records as tickets for RCID. But that doesn't mean necessarily anybody fucking got them.
No such
They're just putting this down because they get some kind of tax write-off for it. But then that's also leading a paper trail right back to the problem.
It could be.
And that might have what caught them in the first place.
The process here, right, is they're going to start at the
it's
bottom
like a
of the ladder.
Scam is what I'm saying, basically. Sorry, CC.
No, they're going to start at the bottom of the ladder with the smallest people, and they're going to threaten these people with, charges, jail time, whatever they can, and say, like you said, VR, and say, well, but we'll totally we'll give you a deal. Just give us some information that can lead us to the next person up the rung of the ladder, and they'll keep gathering this information from the bottom up and climbing to the top as far as they can by cutting deals with these smaller folk to build a larger and a larger case, and they can go back decades on this, right?
Well, the difference with this is the fact that these smaller folk, or the frontline folk in this case, these are publicly elected officials. These are,
that's what I'm asking. Do we know that for a fact, or is it like maybe a coupon scam that they're trying to get tax write-offs? That's what I was asking Mike.
Well, no, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
I know it doesn't really matter, but it matters if you have somebody go, oh yeah, I went to Disneyland, I got this free comped. If you can bring in 10 fucking people that can say that, that starts to prove your case.
Well, the employees of RCID are less the issue than the actual board members, because the board members,
Okay, well, but my point is that are you going to be able to prove it?
Well, we've already got the evidence. It's on the fucking screen right now.
Yeah,
that's the point.
I know, but
it's not like this is not a health insurance plan. This isn't an ERISA qualified benefit. This isn't a Section 125 cafeteria plan.
Right.
I mean, this is a violation.
Okay, here's what I'm saying is okay, this equals out to just over half a $1,000,000, just what you got in front of me right here, let's say. Let's say they need to find $500,000 real fucking quick, or they can write it off somewhere. Is that how that works too? Or is
not
this
for
all
a taxing
just
district?
Shit?
No.
Okay.
Not for a taxing
That's what I'm
district.
asking. Is this all comps? Though these are actual heads that you can count and have people come in and go, Were you on this trip? Did you get comped by Disney?
The
Are you
the park tickets
an
themselves,
employee of the Reedy Creek District and all that kind of shit? Yeah.
Yeah, the park tickets themselves is not the biggest issue so much as it is all of the comps that were afforded. And
I'm just
look,
looking at how they'd be
the state of
charged,
Florida,
I guess is why
okay,
I'm asking.
The state of Florida wouldn't have thrown this out if they didn't know what was coming next. But no, the issue is
the issue is this, like this, Tom. You're on the board of directors of the Reedy Creek board. This happened under your watch. Whether or not you actually handed out any 10 tickets to anybody in this live stream is irrelevant because you're a public official, and that's where the crime
Well, it is relevant if they're going to be charged with something like that kind of a crime, or are they being charged with a tax evasion crime or something?
No,
that's what I'm asking.
No, this isn't a tax evasion scam. This is a this is a theft of this isn't about tax evasion. This is about self-dealing in government government monies through a tax district. The only tax linkage is that it's a tax district, but it might as well, it could be similar to Medicare fraud. It's that kind of thing.
Okay, so another way about it would be, are they embezzling the money somehow? That's where I'm kidding from, is like, are there actual physical people going to the fucking park actually benefiting from this, which would be like if they are, and I get what you're saying. This is how you guys are presenting this. But my point is on the other end of this too, is like, if it's not that, is it an embezzlement or tax scheme where they're just racking up numbers in case they need to fill in some blanks somewhere is my point. Yeah.
The issue is that if the Walt Disney Company was, if the RCID was buying $500,000 a year in theme park tickets for all of its employees, while at the same time they were on effectively no compete contract situations, accepting Disney subsidiaries as contractors to provide RCID services. That in and of itself is a problem. From a tax perspective, and let me throw this to Mike before I have to head out. Here's the other issue. And Mike, I talked about this last night with Pro and Legal because I have personal experience with this with clients. So I have clients, for example, that run big commercial contracting companies, and they try to do things right every measure and step of the way. And these clients will, for example, and one of them, why I bring this up, the IRS quote unquote busted him for this. What he was doing was he was spending a couple $100 a day on Subway and Taco Bell and McDonald's, sending one of the crew out to go pick up lunch for the rest of the workers out there that were building, roofing, framing, etc. And he was writing it off like, dude, I'm buying lunch for my employees to go out there so they can stay on the job site and do stuff. And he did not then report that down to their imputed income. The IRS gigged him. He had to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for what was the IRS considered, these are not legitimate deductions. You should have done this, X, Y, and Z. The point here is with the Disney issue is that if the RCID was spending $500,000 a year on theme park tickets.
Yes.
This is not, again, this is not a cafeteria plan benefit. This isn't a 125 IRS Section 125 benefit. This is not a pre-tax deduction that comes off the top, above the line on your W-2. This is just a gift. So the RCID is giving people $1,000 a year benefit to get into the parks, to have discounts here and there.
That answers my question better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
because I'm looking at, because a lot of people are, and this is partially for people in the chat because they're like, oh, it's embezzlement. Is it this? Is no? That's what I'm asking. Is these were actual people that worked for the Reedy Creek District.
Yep.
That got these benefits. 392 like part of their job.
People. I
think. Since they're technically not employees of Disney, and this is where Disney fucked up.
That's exactly it. Disney giving their own employees benefits like that is cool. Totally fine.
When these are not employees, and this could be considered like an not bribing, but basically gifts for incentive on the part of.
Oh, it's bribing. It's dick
bribing, I guess. Okay, there you go.
Let's be honest.
However you want to put it, I was looking for the correct word or term here, but yes, it's basically bribery and or whatever you want to insert your term here.
The big thing, Tom, is the fact that, Disney, even though they are the majority taxpayer in that district, in terms of their size and scope, they are not the only. So that means that there are, a couple dozen other property owners inside of the former RCID that were paying property taxes, and their tax money that they were paying into the RCID were being criminally used, according to the allegations, folks. The allegations are that there were criminal activity there. Their tax dollars were being misappropriated to things that should not have been under Florida state statute. That's the problem. And like I said, if there's one, that's a case.
Yeah, well, there's plenty more than one, and this is not
Obviously.
the only thing. Yeah,
this is only $500,000 in that, and we're looking at I think they reported over $2.5 million.
$2.5 million in 1 year, Tom.
Yep.
In 2022.
So far, like I said,
on one invoice.
Let's be fair though. I'm looking at this way. Invoice date was 12/31/2021. So these wouldn't these benefits have been for the year of 2021? Yeah.
Well, this is okay. Yes, now remember, and I don't know for sure, but folks, let me give you a little insight here that I think will be the case. It would not at all surprise me if the RCID's fiscal year ran concurrently.
Oh no. I already knew where you were going.
With the Walt Disney Company.
Yeah.
So
well, I'm sure that's a fact.
That means on 12/31/2020 or oh my God, I'm so tired. On 12/31/2021, that's already fiscal
There's
year
your hookers
22.
right there, executive perks.
There's
There's your hookers.
That's already 2022 fiscal for Disney. Bruh, there you go.
Where's that the cocaine tab? Executive perks.
Dun. Valiant Renegade, folks. Check me. Never mind.
What the hell? No, seriously, do check you out. Of course, for those who haven't already. And
I had a shopping day. I tell you what, I'll get everybody a quick preview here. I have been remiss on Valiant Renegade Outdoors because it's been so freaking hot down here. We have not been able to film.
It's warm here, for fuck's sake.
But I have been busy. Well, we are supposed to have in Louisiana tomorrow, like the record. And dude, this is Louisiana. Mm-hmm. We're supposed to hit 105.
Well, I'm sure you're a lot worse. Yeah.
Without heat index. 105 solid without heat index. Oh, that's how fucking crazy it is right now. So I've decided to, since we cannot film for Renegade Outdoors, I've been gearing up. Does anybody want to see some of the new toys I've gotten in the last week?
Maybe. What do you got?
If they're firearms, you don't want to do that.
Well,
I do.
We got firearms.
Okay. Well, I like
show
firearms,
me that.
but
first thing first,
YouTube doesn't like them.
In the last week, we have the new DJI Mavic Pro. With the Hasselblad cameras.
Yes.
We are getting ready. We have already done some drone flights. I am planning to go out this weekend and do some sweet river and lake flights.
How's stationary position hover on that?
I mean, it's pretty high end. Do you want me to say how much this cost?
No, I know how much it costs.
My uncle swears by that brand. He spends tens of thousands on them.
Yeah,
DJI, the Mavic Pro 3, and this is it's incredibly stable. I've done some test flights. We're going out this weekend to do that.
But for a long stable shot, like a helicopter shot, you can actually set that in position hover, and it doesn't move. It just stays there. It's amazing.
Is that the 3 or the 5?
The DJI Mavic Pro 3.
That thing's amazing.
You spent $4,000 on a freaking drone?
My uncle spent $20,000 on a drone. He's big into that. You can get some really nice stuff.
Well, I mean, VRO, Valiant Renegade Online.
And Mikey,
it's a tax deduction, Mike. It's getting written off.
Whatever.
So
tell Mikey how many miles range that has.
That one, depending if you have a clear shot,
line of sight, yeah.
Line of sight, you get about 10, 15 miles.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
They're bad. They're badass.
So no, it's wicked. But here's the thing: Valiant Renegade Online needed a signature weapon because we're going to be going into the woods. I needed a close range bush weapon. I've been thinking about this. Now, for those of you who've been watching, Renegade Jr. for his 10th birthday, and it took like a year and a half to get the damn thing in because of COVID. But he got his Henry rifle, Golden Boy, 22.
No, you got a Golden Boy. I want to get one of those for Max.
He's got one. Valiant Renegade got one for his 10th birthday a couple of years ago. So I've been looking for like what I grew up with what we called a pocket pistol down here in Louisiana. Little snake gun. Put bird shot. I got this today. A Ruger 22. Little pocket pistol. But the key weapon, the key signature piece for Valiant Renegade Online.
Is he trying to get me booted or what?
No, you won't get booted. I've done this on my channel many times, Tom. Don't worry. Because it's all about safety. Like nobody's operating guns in a violent or stupid manner. So this is a tutorial, YouTube. A tutorial. What I got today was I waited patiently, and I finally got it. I have gotten into lever actions so much, and I love these things. The Henry side gate 30-30.
Nice.
This is going to be the signature Valiant Renegade or Valiant Renegade Outdoors piece. When we do our woods. And look, we're even going to be doing some Mountain Monsters kind of parody jokes because we love Mountain Monsters over there from Discovery and Travel Channel. Love Mountain Monsters. So we're going to be having some fun. The problem is the heat has been so damn bad.
Yes.
That it's like I can't. It's wicked. I have not taken the boat out in like a freaking month, bro. It's so terrible. So, any case. Stay tuned for that. We're going to have some fun. So that's the new toy today. It's a 30-30. Like I said, this is a 30-30 round.
You owe me $25 for advertising, just so you know.
There you go. We can do that. Renegade Outdoors has like less
this
than 100
just became a
subs,
fucking infomercial for your channel.
I try. Okay,
tell me more.
All right, I tell you what. Hang on.
Oh, that sound came through on your mic so nicely, though.
Well, but you know what? I tried to do that, and you know what? It's been a while.
You did rack it pretty well. I mean, it did sound amazing. Like that was like Foley quality racking.
We do got some super chats, though. I'm sure Mikey's screaming at me in the background in his back of his mind. Emperor's NM says, which do you think has... Oh, we already got this one, but thank you. Maria Trillo says, get your fork and knives ready. Fork and knives, I think he meant. Yep. Gents, the rat is done cooking and is ready for carving out. Just keeps getting funnier. Enjoy your gumbo, VR.
I try.
Is that what you're having for supper?
No.
Stereotype.
I know. I'm sorry.
Mark Daly says Disney didn't just massage the numbers. They gave them a full chiropractic adjustment.
Holy hell, they just cyborged the shit out of them. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Zoom says 4K on a drone. Mexican Iron Man pays more than that in window repairs every month.
True story.
True
story.
This is
fake news. You're banned from all social media.
I have the video.
I gotta be nice to Mikey now. What'd you do?
I got video of Mikey going out windows.
No, you don't.
Okay.
Dash Attack says Gamescom was crazy today. Rebel Moon trailer was more stimulating than the Ahsoka clips.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you have your opinions. Love seeing you all. Mikey, hope you're doing well. Well, what Dash means there is I've been setting the Snyder Bros off all day long.
Yes, you did.
Oh yeah, I know. I've been listening.
Dude, you could say to a Snyder bro that their movies are a 7 out of 10 and they're act like they're on a freaking rocker.
It's gonna be a fucking masterpiece.
No, it's a 11 out of 10.
Why can't you just like a director? Yeah, that's been my day. So for those who haven't seen it yet, there's this trailer we're not going to show because it's Netflix. And despite the fact that they like to do fair abuse, they won't let us have fair use. So we're not going to show anything of it. But yeah, we did get to see a glimpse at a fucking long glimpse at what's sure to be Zack Snyder's next epic film, Rebel Moon. And
At least
the
he's not
Snyder hose
touching
went
someone
wild.
else's thing. Is this
Well, it
his
was
original
supposed to. It's
thing?
funny you say that, Nick, because did you see my Twitter post?
Which one?
Well, the original one was set it
You've
all
been
off.
at
where I
it
said,
today.
nah, I'm good. I don't need Star Wars Sucker Punch.
Yeah.
So it's
Oh,
not
God,
a
it
Star
does look
Wars
like-
movie?
It was supposed to be a Star Wars movie, CC, but KK rejected it. Now, how bad does it have to be that KK rejected it? Because I'll tell you right now.
really bad.
Actually, that
That's
kind of makes
bad.
me want to look into it a little bit
Before
more.
Some
we
people
switch
are like-
topics, does Valiant need to go?
No, he's just going to cook. He'll be back.
All right.
CC, I see where you're coming from. That would be, normally my first reaction too. But after you watch the trailer, you realize, oh, there's a whammon who's the key to everything here. So that, see, he paid me for it. You
Wow.
fucker. You could have just sent me the $100. This way, the fuckers at YouTube get to keep part of
Eat
it.
shit.
I can't believe he
Subscribe to
did that.
Valiant Renegade Outdoors. I'll come up with a new. I'll tell you what. I'll actually earn this money. I really half-assed the original theme logo thingy. I'll do you an actual real one that sounds good.
Subtiv.
Not the one that has anything to do with like porn or whatever it was that it. I don't remember even.
Go naked, go wild, Valiant Renegade Outdoors.
I've been trying to do mine for a minute. You gonna let me do
Good
it?
culture.
Subscribe to Valiant Renegade Outdoors.
He sounds like a gay painter when he does it like that.
Painter.
Painter. So yeah, who here watched the Rebel Moon trailer?
Oh boy, I did.
But anyway,
unfortunately.
yes, to finish
I
my
tried.
thought from before,
I could see that tumbleweed from afar.
the only thing I could see is the problem with this is I can't see why KK rejected it because it has a woman who's the
Girl
boss
boss
of the
everything.
show and she's the bestest ever and all that business. So like I'm kind of confused as to why KK would have turned it down other than it must be just dog shit. It could be good, but it's 2 parts. I'm sure they're each 3 hours long and there's a lot of slow-mo. But yeah, so who watched it? Go
There
ahead.
will be a director's cut. That'll be 8 hours long of each.
Part one is 90 minutes. Part 2 is 90 minutes. But because of the slow motion, they're each 3 hours.
That's true.
Why does it feel like the only nights that I'm on this show, a Snyder topic comes up?
I don't know. This is cosmic coincidences, as Mr.
Yes.
Miyagi said.
I just saw
Welcome
the
back,
news on
Klobby, by the
Twitter.
way.
Thank you. Sorry about that, buddy.
I just
No
saw the
worries,
news
I
on
hope
Twitter
everything's okay.
attached to. Yeah, is everything okay?
Yes, good.
All right,
Yes.
that's good.
Anyway, you're saying CC.
No, I just all I know about this Rebel Moon thing is I saw the news on Twitter attached to Ahsoka, and I was like, "Is this some other like Star Wars trailer?" And I don't really care about Ahsoka right now, so I didn't care to try and look up Rebel Moon. So it's not a Star Wars thing; it's a rejected Star Wars thing that Zack Snyder is doing with a girl boss.
Exactly.
That's
And
all
then
I
we're
know.
getting the other girl boss in about 10 minutes, I guess people are reminding me in the chat.
So I had to check the
Oh.
stove real quick, but I do have to run. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate
See you,
y'all.
VR.
Bye,
Appreciate
bye,
you.
Right?
bye, Ahsoka, love you.
Here we are.
God
Bye,
bless. I know I
Ahsoka.
got to go finish dinner for the fam. So
Yeah, okay, enjoy Ahsoka. Enjoy Ahsoka.
no, I don't have Disney Plus. I'm not. Look, let me tell you what. I'm a guy that I loved Ahsoka as a character. I still do. I was a big fan of Clone Wars, big fan of Rebels. I enjoyed all that. I watched it myself. I watched it with my kids. I can tell you, me personally, with what Disney and Kathleen Kennedy, all the trash over there, what they've done to Star Wars, I never thought, even just like a year ago, I never thought that I would be so disinterested and so disheartened to not watch the show. But honestly, folks, I don't give a shit about this show. I don't give a shit about this show.
I'm right there with you, Valiant. I watched Rebels 3 times through. I
loved Rebels. I love Lothal. I can sit there and I love all the stuff with Ezra. I thought it was a cool story. I thought it was fun. I really thought it was fun.
Fantastic
I'm just
characters. I'd almost even put it. I'd almost put it above Clone Wars.
The Ghost.
I know, and that's not everyone's opinion, but it was a great cast of characters. And when that show ended, I was really. And remember when you go back to Rebels, right? This was like before The Last Jedi, at least in part of the show. Mm-hmm. This was when Disney had just taken over Star Wars. They got off to a good start. The Force Awakens, in retrospect, maybe not so much, but Rebels itself was great, and there was a lot of excitement around Star Wars.
Yep.
And there was a lot of excitement around Rebels, and I was very excited about it. And I loved the show.
I was too.
And I love what they did with it. And when that show concluded with the cliffhanger, there was a promise that they were going to continue it with a new show, and I was really, really excited. I'm the guy that's supposed to be really excited about this show.
Exactly. Me too. And I'm like, at this point, I'm like, you know what? This show, I should be totally interested in Ahsoka. I love Star Wars. I enjoyed Rebels. I enjoyed Clone Wars. I enjoyed the prequels for all the shit they've gotten. And I grew up with the original stuff with my dad. I get that. People have their problems with it. That's fine. But why is it that I, as somebody who's a fan of all this stuff, including Rosario Dawson, who is freaking hot, I'm sorry, still is hot.
Yeah, she is.
And I don't give a fly. I give about as much of a shit about this show as maybe 10% slightly above Blue Beetle.
Yeah, that's about right.
That's where I'm at. That's where America's at, folks. So take care. Good to see everybody. Have a great show.
Cheers, mate.
Take care.
Wow.
He's not wrong.
That's how much they screwed it up. They had everything. They had everything.
So, a couple of things about this trailer, though. I mean, it's entitled a teaser trailer, but it was 3 minutes and 43 seconds long.
Yeah, it's a long trailer.
A little bit long for a teaser trailer. It suffered from what most trailers suffer from now, which is it's overblown. The trailer is overblown. The music is irritating. So I watched the trailer and I thought, well, some of that looks okay, but my God, here they go with that sweeping, epic music. The way they construct trailers now is just awful. It drives me away from the show.
Remember the classic song that they ruined this time. It was that bad.
Yeah, it drives me away from the show, the way they construct the trailers. They don't make it look interesting. They make it look like it's overblown to the
everything else he does.
But yeah, well, I'm not against some Snyder stuff. I quite like some of it.
I'm just glad he's not touching DC. I don't need to be bored on my mind with Batman with powers.
There's some stuff I like.
Martha.
I would need to see a little bit more.
Nick, why did you say that name?
I heard that while I was
I may be willing to give it a chance.
Should I say it again?
Not one of you guys are real Ahsoka fans, because I'm quite sure not one of you has a set of these.
There you go.
I don't give a shit about Ahsoka.
You know, I sort of liked Clone Wars, but when it first came out, I was having a lot of problems. I never liked the character much. I don't think Anakin needed a Padawan. It didn't make any sense. He was not made a Jedi Master. And Filoni, whoever came up with that idea for Ahsoka, it was a stupid idea. And I never really liked the character that much. He's okay. But why did he have a Padawan?
I don't know. A secret one. It's that.
I was talking about Rebel Moon, by the way, not Ahsoka.
No, you were, but Mikey went back to Ahsoka.
Might as well be the same thing.
Yeah. Just in case anybody thought I was talking about Ahsoka.
Yeah, Steliato says a lot of designs from Rebel Moon seem like they were made with AI synthography. Doesn't help with the kind of green screen Zack uses. Like, I was not awed or wowed by any of this shit. Like, if you think it looks cool, that's cool. Zack is one of the writers on top of all this shit, so I have.
Oh, that's the.
You're gonna have to bribe me to fucking watch this.
No, man, dude, that was tough.
I knew I heard a joke somewhere in there. Zack writing was the joke.
The trailer was too boring to get through. How are you going to get through his 5 hour, 8 hour? What is this thing? The series or the one off?
Is Hans Zimmer doing the score? It's gonna be.
The trailer was putting me to sleep.
Oh, Super Omicron's mad at me. What have I written? I've written a lot of Midnight's Edge videos. I've written a lot of other stuff.
Tom has already written everything he has written.
He's also not Cryborg.
Everything he has written is better than anything.
Cryborg.
Is better than anything Hack Snyder or David S. Goyer ever hoped to write. Tom could outright them in his sleep.
No, look, I love setting the Snyder fans off because they are the first fandom that I cannot argue they aren't toxic. I'm not saying all Snyder fans are, but there's a large portion of them that are some of the most toxic
I'm
motherfuckers.
like sitting right here and this is happening.
I love you, Michael. I don't care. I'll be honest though. It's not everybody. Some Snyder fans are cool with people not liking Zack Snyder. But you get the certain ones that are like, I don't like Zack Snyder. And all of a sudden they're like, oh, look at God, you don't understand.
The zealots. Yeah.
They like freak the fuck out on you. It's like, dude, not everybody likes the same kind of pizza. Get over yourself. This is part of the reason why people don't like Zack Snyder. I have been booted from groups over fucking Zack Snyder.
That's a badge of honor.
Well, I promise. That's how we became friends. I promise to stop booting you since then.
Yeah, but look, many nice people. You know, Snyder bots are the same as nice people who happen to like Zack Snyder. They're two different things.
No. A few of us are nice people who happen to like Zack Snyder.
That's what I'm saying.
I can tell you, the vast majority of us Snyder fans are freaking psycho lunatics.
At least he admits it.
And I know this, this because I was one for a long time.
Yo, it reminds me of that Simpsons episode where a Homer joined the cult. And they're all like, the leader.
You want to know?
That's Zach's fans and Zach.
You want to know when I realized
I worship the leader?
I realized I was part of a cult when I watched live as some of my fellow Snyder bros went after Nina hardcore and did it on Twitter and in her own live stream in a mean way. And I'm just like, I got to put it in.
Oh, yeah.
And I literally shut that shit down to because Nina was.
Look, I've never liked any of his movies. Yeah. I thought Dawn of the Dead was okay, but James Gunn and whoever else wrote that. Watchmen was good, but that was because it was almost a straight adaptation of the fucking comics. 300, same kind of thing. I mean, I know you and I, Clobby, have our difference of opinion on that, but I mean, aesthetically, I don't think you can argue that he deviated too far from what.
No, aesthetically, he did Watchmen very well.
Yeah. So, I mean, in that respect, we can agree. But at that point, that's as far as I take it. I lost all respect for that motherfucker, the way he threw everybody under the bus. Not just geeks and gamers, but Snyder fans and shit. And y'all want to fucking be okay with it. That's cool. No. But like, I mean, this motherfucker is out there boasting the fact that this story has a non-binary character and it's a huge part of the story.
With identity politics.
So that's my point when I was getting to earlier with KK. It's like KK turned this down and it had a non-binary character and it had a girl who was the secret to everything. So how bad can it be if KK turned it down and it had that in it? Sorry, CC, go ahead.
No, if he didn't throw geeks and gamers under the bus, his movie still would have come out. I know there was a saying that was like, oh, he was pressured. They were not going to release it if he didn't say that. Nah.
No, that was bullshit.
It would have come out.
It would have come out. And
here's the thing. That whole garbage about, he had to. No, he didn't have to do that. He chose to do that. Even if the studio chose, you still are responsible for your own actions at the end of the day. You can't go on all these interviews, all these press cycles that talk about how you're defending the fans and how could you label them toxic, Google and all the chairs I'm doing for them, and then do a 180 on them on the eve of your premiere of your movie. And he does that to them.
Yeah, they're not pulling it on the even. If they tried to, the fans would have revolted anyways because Snyder fans, and he would have been just fine.
Even if his movie was somehow great, and I thought it was like the second coming, that's still. And you remember? Were you watching that stream? That stream was flying with donations for that cause. As soon as he did what he did, they stopped. I'm
sure if I badgered people enough, I could have got on it, but I didn't care that much. But I was with the fan movement. I was like, good for them. I applauded it. I I'm sure I even hashtagged it once or twice to get the Snyder cut. I'm not somebody who has a problem with multiple cuts existing, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you have a chance of showing me what it was you were initially going to show me. And that's just it. My buddy Uche, as we all, may remember here, was a huge person behind that. And I loved Uche, and I loved the fact that he loved and he felt so passionate about it. And we had our debates, and he's one of the few guys that I wouldn't debate too much because I know he could kick my ass if we ever met. So he scared the hell out of me. So no, but other than that, like, that's just it. I was there. I backed the movement, even though I had no love for this franchise at that point. And the way he did people was so fucking dirty. I didn't even believe half the shit people were putting out there, but then I had talked to enough people from behind the scenes at Warner Brothers and seen enough proof to know what the fuck was going on. Look, they're a very small but loud fucking group of people who got their way and acted like a bunch of ungrateful babies over it, and have done nothing but to continually harass people over it, harass anybody who didn't like it, who isn't behind the movement, try to create this false sense of there's this huge, there's also YouTubers and other outlets that have used this audience just the same way that Zack Snyder has. That's the thing, guys, is I see Zack and what he has done. He has been busted using PR firms and bot farms and other shit to push his business. So he is just as guilty, if not the proprietor of most of this shit, or whatever the word is I'm looking for. So at the end of the day, I have zero respect for Zack. And if you want to be his fan, that's great. I don't care. I'm not going to judge you, but I'm definitely going to judge one of his fan base who comes after somebody just for not liking him. And if you want to fall for the bait, that's your problem. Because all you guys are doing are proving my fucking point with every tweet. That's the hilarious part. And this is
came so hard after you that I ended up on your own show.
Well, that was just directed at certain Snyder. No, I think you came around when I was supporting the movement, right?
Oh, for sure.
Like,
easy.
No, I know, but at the end of the day, I didn't even, like I just said, I didn't even believe half the shit they were putting out there about Snyder and you guys. But when I actually, like I said, talked to people behind the scenes, started getting my leaks, started seeing the actual proof, I was seeing what they were seeing and what was going on. And honestly, at the end of the day, that's why I think the whole reason they announced James Gunn now instead of later is because of the Snyder fans. That is the main fucking reason, because they are sacrificing millions of dollars at the box office because of it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I believe that, Tom, even though it's still a long ways away and they could have still waited until maybe I'd say November, a month before Aquaman, to say something.
They should have waited until after. There's no legal obligation for them to do that. That's what I've been trying to rack my brain about. And that's the only excuse I can think of, is they wanted to shut Snyder fans up. That was one of the reasons I was told. And I guess I got to accept it, Nick.
Yeah. And like you, Tom, like I was not like excited about the movie. It was one of those things where I was happy for those who were excited. I was like, okay, I'm not going to talk trash about this thing for 1 week just so they can have their victory. At least I thought I was going to go a week long. That didn't age well.
You've never gone that long.
I'm going to shut my mouth about this just so people can have their way for once. And look what happens when I compromise. Boom. I was like, oh, here, cowabunga it is.
I'm not feeling like I'm in I don't feel like I'm in a Snyder safe space, Nick.
That's all right, Mikey. I like 300 and Watchmen, so I'm with you on those.
Yeah, but no one really gives him a lot of shit over those two.
Yeah,
it's the other ones that people fight about the most.
Yeah, and I just don't like what he did as a person on that stream.
There's a total dick and an asshole and a beta ass.
Find it hard. Yeah, there's no excuse.
His actions on I can't remember some media article about a month later. I did a follow-up video, I remember at the time, about it. And he was all joking about it. I'm going to have to dig for it. I'm going to have to really dig for it. But because obviously that was a while ago. And, who knows how many articles nowadays, the way things come out, things get memory hold so easily. But yeah, it was a big deal. I was like, holy crap, this guy is basically taking a laugh at this whole situation.
Yeah, fuck Zack Snyder.
And then people were getting mad at me for pointing this out. I'm like, you should be thanking me. Be like, oh wow, Nick, I didn't realize this guy was such an asshole. Nope, they blame me for catching him.
If you screw up, you find a way to make it right after the fact, and I didn't hear anything about that either. Like there was no.
Mecca J has a great point too. He was involved with the casting of Ezra Miller, Amber Heard, and Kryborg. Garbage human after garbage human after garbage human. Yeah, he's Kryborg. Ray Fisher.
Ray Fisher is in Rebel Moon, I think. Yeah, that's. Yeah, I mean, if you took all that out of it, nobody would object.
Nobody else wants to work with him.
Kryborg's in a movie.
Yeah, his career's not over already.
Yeah, he was probably what he was acting on his scenes. He was probably imagining Walter Hamada in the room. Like, seriously, Walter Hamada lives in his head for free. Walter!
Is he the non-binary character?
Maybe.
Oh, sorry, is it the non-binary character?
There we go.
Yeah.
Which girl does Fisher play?
Yeah.
Well, this first started because I tweeted out, "Nah, I'm good. I don't need, Star Wars Sucker Punch." Well, then I really had to stir shit up because they, come after me just for saying that, which is like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't say shit about the Snyderverse. I'm just talking about Snyder in this movie. I don't care. I don't need fucking dime store Star Wars. Star Wars is bad enough, I don't need the dime store Zack Snyder version.
It won't be dime store. It'll be expensive.
Well, that's just it. Yeah. Lord knows how much they spent on this garbage. But anyway, they can't even get the budget right.
Yeah. I mean, the trailer, as I say, I would typically be interested in any new science fiction property, but the trailers put me off a lot these days because of the way they're constructed. So I'll need to see more about it closer to the release to see if I'm willing to give it a chance, unless the usual attacks come out in advance. Attacks on fans. So we'll see.
I honestly, I don't think he will do anything until, well, after things come out. And even then, it'll probably be more of an indirect attack thing. It'll probably be, this was made for the toxic fans, stuff like that.
Fuck yeah. No, well, my second, because they come after me on my first tweet, like I said, that had really nothing directed at any fans or anything. So they came after me. So I'm like, all right. And so I tweeted my second tweet out, which was basically, good. Now the fans will maybe move on from DC and go after Disney for a while.
Tom, old chap, I'm going to slip out because I got to go eat before.
You and Nick got to run
Tuesday.
Yeah, I got to slide out too.
Yeah, tonight on Toxic Tuesday is The Equalizer.
Sweet.
See you in 20 minutes, kids. All right.
So,
Thank
good night,
you guys.
everybody.
Hi, buddy.
Take care.
Take care. Yeah, we're gonna wrap things up here because I'm sure Mikey's getting tired anyway. But thank you again, Dash Attack, for your chat that got us on that. And this one was from Theliato. We got that one already. Okay, Forever. J Forever King says the guy who cut Snyder's trailer should edit his movies. Maybe it is the same guy. Hunch the Dirty Roofer says 300 is just Magic Mike prequel for the Rainbow. Ooh, this is Sparta.
Tough crowd.
It's a hell of a dance club. Yeah, again, I'm not trying to piss anybody else off. And look, there was somebody who was going off on me specifically on Twitter too. And this individual, I guess, is somebody who I was told that also likes to go after Eric July and such too. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. But he keeps saying things to me like, it's like, look, he's like, people don't like your opinions or whatever. I'm like, look, I don't give a shit if people like my opinion. I'm not going to change it for you or anybody. If you don't like my opinion about Zack Snyder and you're not going to watch me, that's fine. That tells me a whole lot more about you than it does me. Not everybody likes the same kind of pizza, right? But if you're not going to come listen to me just because of that, that's your problem, not mine. So, and again, I'm not trying to be that kind of way to anybody, but it's like, I think most of the audience, I mean, even Super Omicron, he admitted that, yeah, he forgot Zack did that. So that's a good point. And sometimes people can be cool about it. I've had a few people that were Snyder fans that came at me today because I'm sure they got the word from the crew to go out and go after me. But as soon as I said something and pointed out to them that they were doing exactly what I was pointing out, or they're being hypocritical. Some of them were smart about it and said, oh, okay, well, whatever. And they moved on. But there was this other guy who just wouldn't move on. And it's like, that's the point, guys. It's like, these guys are so easy to trigger. I don't care if you like Zack Snyder. That's your prerogative, right? Just don't come at me if I don't like something he put out. Like,
yep,
it's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now that's the thing with safe spaces.
Yeah.
Just like
exactly,
you can actually disagree about stuff and still get along and be kind to each other, despite the fact that you disagree. You don't have to have a safe space where everybody
Script
agrees
doctor
about
and
all the
culture
same
and
things all the same time.
we fight like we're fucking brothers.
Yeah,
we do all the time. And fucking Mikey, once in a while we can get into it too, but no, it's like, it's okay. We don't care. It's you like different kind of, that's the way I always looked at it as growing up, is you like different kind of pizza than I do. That's fine. We can have fun debating it and arguing about it, but at the end of the day, it's not going to change anything. So why should we not be friends over it? That's the dumbest shit.
Because on YouTube, that's what we do. We try to make enemies and find enemies to be enemies.
Well, it's not just YouTube though, Mike. It's social media in general. It's, you know.
My problem with fighting with you is be like, no, I agree with you more. No, I agree with you more. No. Problem with me and Tom is like, we'll have the same opinion before we even talk. Like, we'll just send a text and like, oh shit, that's what I was about.
Well, you're making a good point, even though you're kind of goofing around there, Mike. But like, that's part of the reason is, I mean, most people aren't that way. It's easy to agree to disagree or understand that everybody's not going to agree with you when you know somebody or you live with them or you talk to them face to face every day. But it's very easy to treat people, especially people like us who are kind of in like a public sphere of sorts, like we're not people sometimes. Okay. And I'm not trying to be all boo-hoo and all that kind of shit, but no, I take that in consideration. And that's where I fuck around and I troll these fuckers a lot. But the humor of it is they're not getting to me the way they think they are. Right. Like that's the beauty of it. And Clobby knows what I'm talking about, because I'm sure you've dealt with plenty of Snyder hoes.
Since 2012, a year before the first Man of Steel came out, I was fighting leading up to that Garbaggio. As soon as announced. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And on through the first few movies.
Greatest Superman movie ever made.
It had to be a Superman movie first.
Zack got his movie over at Netflix. Good for him. Hopefully it's good. As pointed out by many people, at least it's original and not something else to where whatever.
It's
an awful Star Warsy to me, but okay.
If it keeps him away from DC stuff, then go for it, Zachy.
Right?
Will it be in 4:3 aspect ratio?
No, I think it's actually in 2:35.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he's going full widescreen.
Improvement.
Well, and he knows it's going to be for television too. So
yeah.
There's some people who think they might do some like limited theatrical runs just to kind of hype it up, which I wouldn't be the least bit surprised.
It looks so boring. Boring, man.
Some people like that kind of stuff. It's fine.
There you go. Yeah.
Look,
you know what? If you have 100-inch television screen on your wall or like a projector screen, 4:3, maybe it's not so bad. Okay, fair enough. But it's a very strange decision.
Yeah.
Mine is 82-inch.
Well,
that's pretty big.
That's what she said.
You sure yours is an 86-inch? Because I thought you had to get one that was a little bit bigger than mine.
No, yours.
Because mine's the 82-inch.
Well, then mine's 80. Yours is 2 inches longer than mine, or longer.
Put that. I wish that was the truth. I can almost guarantee you that's not true, because
just from sheer
as much pipe as you lay, no way.
You lay.
That was a funny moment in the history of Midnight Sedge after dark.
Well, and I can't even let him can't even give him shit for that one, because this man gets more tail than probably all of us combined here on the stream, next to Culture, because he's married.
Yeah, pretty much.
He can't even deny it. He's like, I just got done. And what do you think I'm doing after the show? Why do you think I got to go?
Yeah.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Yeah. All right, kids. Let's wrap this up so we can send everybody over to Toxic Tuesday and let Mikey get rest. I need to go put my feet up too. So, Mikey, what you got going on? Are you going to be on the morning show tomorrow? Or
I am running Loki's morning show, everybody, at 8 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Eastern, and tomorrow is going to be Mexican Iron Man Unloaded. I will be going full throttle and answering any questions that come up in chat and telling you what I really think about YouTube behind the scenes.
You're not going to talk about the pictures, are you?
Excellent.
9 a.m. on Loki's Mornings of Mischief. Get ready. It's going to be a good one.
Oh.
Kitty
Bear wants to know.
Pacific.
Okay.
A long time.
When is it? When is the release? Snow Doctor and Tom 7X.
7 seconds.
Mikey's probably got more X's than I do.
Ex-girlfriends?
Yeah.
Oh, for God's sake, yeah. I'm sure.
You probably have more in 1 year than I have in my entire. No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
yeah, you're not that much of a man whore, but still.
No, I'm not. No, but I've had an accomplished career. Could I say that? I mean, what?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks.
CC, what you got going on?
Usual, Friday night karaoke with Mr. Tom Connors. And I believe this week I'm in a place with some better internet signal, so I think look forward to that actually happening this week.
And then we've got Culture Casino, who shows up once in a while on your show.
That's true. Let's see. Tomorrow I've got 2 videos coming out. I've got the 6-minute daily, Midnight Edge in the morning. Let's see, it's Wednesday. Something else is going on. I don't remember. But yeah, I'm just doing a lot of stuff and recording videos and editing videos and making videos and trying to get Mike to talk to me. And
we'll do it right after the show. We can do it right now.
No, I'm just teasing you.
I'm serious. Let's do it right now after the show.
That's it. Check out my channel. I'm awesome.
Shirtless Culture Casino.
That's
Shirtless Casino.
That's Saturday.
For Saturday night, boobies.
2 minutes. There will be 10 men with no shirts on.
I may not show up.
You have to show up, Mike.
If I do and show my boobs,
no, you don't have to show your boobs.
You're going to lose all your subs.
You only have to be on so much of the show. Like you don't have to be on that part, and that part will just be this one group of guys who
I made one time and one time only. I will not be offended if you leave me out of the nudity.
No, yeah, you'll be left out of the nudity, but you have to be in the show. You're my hetero life mate. I wouldn't.
I can probably do as long as it's pre-flash cast and post me doing anything that need me to do it.
We definitely have to be pre-flash cast because I'm in the I'm a mod over there and I watch Flash. I mean,
you're a mod.
I've been a mod on Flashcast for a while. I like Yellow Flash. You know that he's a good guy.
I know he'll get you on there eventually.
I'm not worried about it. What I'm worried about is is you actually doing a good job. And
speaking of Flashcast, I just want to take 2 seconds to say I met somebody on Flashcast a couple weeks ago who I've been a big fan of for a while.
Ooh.
And we sadly lost him this week. I wish I'd gotten more time to spend with Donovan, aka Crypt Daddy. He's got an album out. You can get it right now on iTunes, Apple, I believe, and Amazon. In fact, I picked it up off of Amazon for like $6-7, I think it was. So it's not even like that expensive. So, and I'm sure that would help his family out right now with expenses. But yeah, if you want to laugh, Donovan was a hell of a funny comedian. So check out his album. It's called the Sports Illustrated Edition, I believe. Recently came out. He was on the Flashcast promoting it. But yeah, news came down yesterday that we lost him just before I went live for Toxic Femme. So that was a tough show for me. And yeah, I mean, he's a really cool guy. Got to talk to him a little bit afterwards, and like, it's weird because you just talk to them and then they're gone. So never take anybody for granted, folks.
Yeah.
Even Snyder fans.
I heard that.
And Klobby, I hate to leave with you on that somber note, but what do you got coming?
No big deal. Thank you, man. Sorry about what happened earlier, but anyway,
no,
Mondays,
that's fine. I just hope everything's all right. Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm there. I'm here. So, Mondays to Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays are my shows. Monday night, Mark C. Comics Talk. Wildcard Wednesday nights in the Clubhouse with Raquel and Mark on Thursday nights, and of course Saturday night Star Trek on oddly enough Saturday night. So have a lot of fun doing that. It's on Clobbering Times, and thank you so much for having me, buddy. It's good to be here with all my friends. Thank you. Clobber on, everybody.
Yeah, I got to stumble into one of your shows again soon.
I hope so, man. Yeah. Thank you both for being the ones who showed up last week. You and Culture, appreciate it, buddy.
No problem. And yeah, I want to thank all y'all who didn't leave me for Ahsoka.
I can catch up.
I'm gonna have to force myself.
That's on tonight.
It started already. Yes.
Right now, about 23 minutes ago.
Because Disney got smart and decided not to drop the fucking show
at 2 a.m.
At 2 in the goddamn morning.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
And I want to share some. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Just a pilot tonight or something, or what?
Two episodes.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I think is what it is. I think it is first 2 episodes. But I just want to I want to plug somebody real quick. My buddy Ord has a new show. Or new channel, I should say, not new show, but it is like a new show. Check it out. He's doing really well, and I want to help him, give him a boost. We're gonna have him on again real soon. It's been a while, but check out my boy Ords, and yeah, here's his new channel, React Attack. Check it out. The link is in the chat. Give him a little boost.
There
you go. Yeah, his original channel got demonetized, so he had to start from scratch.
Damn.
Yeah, it was shitty. So, and he's had a rough go of it lately with a lot of shit going on in his personal life. So, could really use the boost right now. If you guys want to help make somebody's day, I'm sure a nice little boost in subscribers could do such a thing. So, I know it helped for Culture's prowess. The wife's like, finally, he got to 10K, so we don't have to deal with this shit no more. No more crappy love session. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, Culture. You don't have to admit it, man. You're over there just going,
Yeah, I just feel like sometimes I just nod along. And
you shouldn't.
Yeah, that's the way.
At some point, the show will end. Then
you shouldn't. At least I can't believe the wifey's not in the chat going, "Hey." At this point, usually she calls me out when I get that mean.
Nah, we're gonna have dinner and watch this stupid Star Wars shit.
Why are you gonna force her to watch that? No wonder she's not sticking up for
you. She's also listening and knows that I agreed to talk to Culture after the live stream, so she's
That's
gonna
true. Oh, I'm kidding. Well, that doesn't mean she's got to be nice to me. No, I love you, Culture. Just giving you shit. And hopefully your love life is as great as it has always been. I wish you nothing but the best, of course. So yes, let's get out of here so you and Mikey can have your little phone call, and maybe I can make it onto a little bit of Toxic Tuesday, but I really got to put my feet up, and I do got to run to the store before it's too late here. So we'll see how much I get to pop in for. So hopefully see you guys over there. If not, do head over there and raid the stream and let them know that we sent you. And until next time, never forget.
I got molested in the little boy's room.